Can she switch off the spectronet? Please, can someone help me switch off the air conditioning? It's on. Let me wait for switch off the air conditioning. So I'm just going to try to connect to my IG live feed. Hello everyone, welcome to this is Life's Journey, and we have several topics that we have treated before today that you would like to catch up on. So thank you for joining Life's Journey with Benedicta. Oyindo_Ogo, thank you for joining in. Thank you for joining in. I am Rima Ken Ocha. Thank you for your compliment. Ogolio Coco, thank you. Aseya, hi, you're joining today for the very first time. Thank you for joining in. So on today's topic, I'm going to be sharing with you guys what it actually feels like waiting for 9 whole years and some months in order for me to get a dissolution of marriage from the Nigerian High Court. It isn't easy, right? 9 whole years. I'd like to say a big thank you to all of my friends, my family members that have reached out to congratulate me and also to find out how I'm doing, how I'm holding up, and all of those. Thank you so much. There were too many calls. I couldn't pick all of your calls. I couldn't reply all the messages, but I know you all meant well. And thank you for your love. Thank you for your support and everything. It is 9 traumatic years, not 9 beautiful years. There is nothing beautiful or nothing exciting about doling out millions of naira to lawyers to be in court for you, to represent you in court for 9 whole years. I remember saying this before I started this show. I was inspired to start Life's Journey with Benedicta based on the fact that I had so many women reaching out to me in my DM, sending me emails. Some would call me to find out how they can exit a toxic marriage. A lot of women wanting to exit their toxic marriage, wanting to end their union, and they would call me to tell me what they're going through and to ask for my advice. Now, I was inspired to start this show where women can come out and talk about their problems, talk about their challenges, try to get solutions. And this past 1 week, I had some of those women reaching out to me in fear, some of those women reaching out to me to tell me they were contemplating filing for a divorce, but having seen how long it took for me to get one, they might not have the financial resources to hang in there for this length of time. And what I have to tell those women is, not everyone will be unfortunate as myself to spend 9 whole years in the courthouse or in the courtroom. Some of you might be luckier your divorce duration or your dissolution period might be lesser than 9 years. And some of you might be unfortunate and it might take longer than 9 years. And the question here is, how much how really bad do you want out of your situation? Is your marriage so toxic and you know you have reached a point of no return and you really want to come out of it? Is your life threatened? Are you currently undergoing a nervous breakdown? Are you currently taking some antidepressants because of your mental health? You feel you have gotten to the point where you cannot condone your union, your marriage, and you want out. So the question is, how really, really bad do you want to come out of it? If you really, really know you have reached your threshold of endurance and you cannot stay in that union, my advice to you is still file for that divorce and get it over with. No matter how tough the going gets, you should get tougher. That is what life is all about, and that is what I'm here to tell everyone. It took me 9 years plus to get a dissolution from my previous marriage, but it hasn't broken me one bit. If there is anything it has done for me, is to actually reinforce my belief that when you persevere to bring to an end a situation, it will definitely come to an end. It will definitely come to an end. It all depends on how well you want to fight for it. How well do you desire for this change? I desired so badly for this dissolution that even if it was going to take me 20 years, I was willing to hang in there and see it through to the end. And even now that I've come to the end of it, it's the end of phase 1 because it ended in a way that I am not comfortable with. So I am moving over to stage 2, which is the Court of Appeal. I have filed for an appeal and a stay of execution in the Court of Appeal. So that is what happens when you go to the High Court with a problem or with a lawsuit and it comes to an end in a manner that you don't think it's fair, you can always appeal it. And that is what I've done. I have appealed the grounds of my dissolution and I have stayed the judgment. So because of that, I cannot talk about that issue. But what I want to discuss today is that if you do want something really, really bad, you have to be resilient, you have to persevere, you have to fight until you get it. And I also want to let you know that something has got to give. You might not win all round, but what is important is that your mental health is intact. What is important is that you are a free being. There is no one, absolutely anyone, that deserves to be in bondage, be it a man or a woman. No one should be held down against their will in a relationship they are not comfortable in any longer. So for those women out there that are suddenly scared, they feel, oh my goodness, 9 years, where am I going to get those finances to pay the legal bills? How am I going to cater for my children? How am I going to pay their school fees? How am I going to feed them for that duration of time? And what I have to tell you today is you can do it. If you really desire it, you can achieve it. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter the hills that you have to climb. It doesn't matter what people will say. It doesn't matter how the world looks at you. What matters, remember, is your mental health. And I'm going to use this as a medium to plead with our legislature, our judiciary. Women shouldn't have to stay this long in order to obtain a dissolution of marriage. Men shouldn't have to stay this long in order to obtain a dissolution of marriage. Nigeria is a great country. We can make it great. If there are things or there are laws in our system that are not friendly, we owe it to the citizenry to make it better. Dissolution can be done within 2 months to 6 months, like it is done in other countries across the globe. It would be nice, because not every woman or man will have the financial resources that I had to wait for 9 whole years. Because you're not going to court for free, you're paying your legal bills. And you also need money to raise your children while you're doing that. And even if you do not have kids, you need the money to take care of yourself, you need the money to do other things. So no man or woman should be subjected to such hardship. Sometimes we find ourselves in a situation that we cannot do anything about. The laws take its course in a very long time in our country. We met it that way. It doesn't mean we have to live it that way. So the people that are in position to change these laws, to amend them, to reform them in such a way that men and women do not have to put their life on hold for this duration of time. I am pleading with you. Let us make it better. There are so many women out there that want out. There are so many men out there that want out. But when they think about the monetary involvement, they think about the time it's going to take, they think about the trauma, of relieving every single detail of what went wrong in the box while giving evidence. It is traumatic. So because dissolution is traumatic, it isn't something any man or woman should be put through for such a length of time. It is one thing for people to say, oh, why is she talking about it? This is old news. Can we just move on? Yes. The reason why I started this show is because I wanted people to learn from my own experience. You don't have to experience it in order for you to learn. Although some people would rather prefer to experience to learn. But I want people to learn from my own experience and to know that if you are confronted with such difficulty, such as I was, you can wait it out. You can survive it. I'm alive, I'm seated, I'm here. I waited 9 whole years and some months in order to get a dissolution. 9 years no be beans so. 9 years no be beans. A child that was born over 9 years ago is probably preparing to get into JSS 1 or is already in JSS 1, junior secondary. So that is like a mini lifetime. So no man or woman should be subjected to such trauma. It isn't fair. So if you're listening to me and you know you are in a position to carry out these reforms for Nigerians, for the citizenry, please do so. Not everyone would have my endurance threshold. I went through the whole, I went through it over and over again, spending that money, reliving those memories, having to recite them like a hymn each time I was asked to do that in the box. Memories that you rather not remember, things that had happened in the past you rather not talk about, you have to talk about them. So it isn't something easy, and it isn't something I would like for men and women in Nigeria to go through. The solution can be done in a shorter period, while other issues surrounding the dissolution, like custody issues, property settlements, all of those things can be heard in the court of law as the time goes by. But the dissolution should be carried out within three months to a year or two. We can do it. Even in the Muslim practice, when a man or a woman wants out, they dissolve that union in less than 6 months. That union is dissolved, and the man or the woman can move on with their lives. In the United States, once a man or a woman is served that letter of divorcement, you have just 2 weeks to sign. And once you sign it, the divorce is over. And even if you refuse to sign it, the marriage is still considered dissolved. So either parties can move on with their lives. So I want us as a nation to emulate countries that have better laws as regards the solution of marriage. If we want to be a better society, we want to grow as a people, as a nation, we should learn to do away with laws that are not progressive, traditions that are not progressive. And we should embrace laws that are progressive if we want to grow as a nation. Isn't it amazing, or rather, I wouldn't say amazing, it is embarrassing that a country like Nigeria that is so religious, with so many churches on all the streets, rate number 2 when it comes to paternity fraud on the world's chart. Paternity fraud. Nigeria has been rated number 2 on that chart. Yet we are one of the most religious nations in the world. And this makes me wonder, is our system not encouraging this paternity fraud? When you have women that are desirous to end their marriage, and they know that the system is not encouraging, they know that the system is going to take forever to grant them that desire, that wish, they now resort into solving the problem the way they know best. Remain in that marriage, have 1 or 2 boyfriends outside the marriage, and in the course of time, you might even bring back a child from your relationship into the marriage because you are tired, you're fed up of that marriage, you don't want that marriage, but you can't exit it because you don't have the funds to exit it. You can't exit it because of what your pastor is going to say. You can't exit it because you are afraid of spending 9 long years in the court of law. So rather than go through all that hurdle, just remain in the marriage, have 1 or 2 babies for another man, bring it into the marriage, give it to your husband, and life goes on. So let's think about it. Is the system not encouraging this paternity fraud that our women seem to be topping the charts? I could as well just get my dissolution. I mean, I've gotten it and just moved on with my life. But I want us to think deep about this. Is the system not encouraging this? Is the system not also encouraging men having children outside wedlock? men having children outside of wedlock, they are tired of their relationship, rather, they're tired of their marriage. They want out. But when they think about the money they're going to pay to some lawyer for some number of years, they think about what the society will say, they think about what their pastors will say, they say, you know what, I'm just going to leave my wife in the house. She will continue bearing my name while I keep my mistress outside, have 1 or 2 children with my mistress outside, and life goes on. Now, at the end of the day, what is the quality of life of an average Nigerian family when we have all these skeletons in our cupboards? What kind of children are we raising for the future? We end up raising children that do not want to get married. Let us not be surprised that this generation we're raising, a lot of our children will not even want to get married because of all the nonsense they have seen growing up, because of all the nonsense they have seen their daddies and mummies doing in the name of marriage. That is definitely not what they want. And if these children are watching their daddies and mummies spending years fighting in the court, trying so hard to get a dissolution, we're going to end up raising children that do not even want to get married at all. You're going to have kids say, Mommy, you know what? I'm just living with him. I just have a baby with him, or I want to have a baby with him. I don't want to tie the knots. And if you ask them, why don't you want to tie the knot, honey? Why don't you want to have a court wedding? And the child is going to tell you, do you think I want to stay 9 whole years in a court of law should this marriage go south? So we are creating a system where our children, this generation of children, would not want to get married. They would not want to settle down with a man or a woman. Because we are making it so difficult. We are telling them that marriage is a death sentence. We are telling them that if the marriage doesn't work out, rather than file for a divorce and wait for 9 whole years, just put that thing into his cup of tea and then let him drink and sleep and say hello to his maker. We begin to wonder why so many women take the shortcut out. They end the lives of their spouses, or they end the life of their spouses, or men ending the lives of their wives. We've heard of so many women disappearing, so many women gone missing, so many wives gone missing. And in less than 2 months, there's a new missus in the house. Why? Because the man doesn't want to go through the whole stress of dissolution in our court system. So they're just going to make their wives disappear. And they're just going to make their husbands go to sleep and never wake up. Because the woman doesn't have money to pay lawyers for 9 years. She doesn't. And she doesn't want to explain to her neighbors and to her pastor that, oh, I filed for a divorce. Rather, she would prefer the people, her neighbors and her church members, to come and tell her, oh, sorry, what happened? Oh, he slept and he didn't wake up. Is that the generation we want to raise? A generation of murderers because they are looking for an easy way out of a bad marriage without wanting to go through the 9 years hole or the 12 years hole. I have heard of marriages in Nigeria that took as long as 12 years to dissolve. So is this the kind of future we want to hand over to our children? I know Nigeria can do better as a nation. We have too many intelligent men and women in the legislature. We have well-meaning citizens in the judiciary, and I trust them. I trust their intellectual ability that they would see the loophole in this constitution and try to make amend so that we will leave something better for our children, so that our children will not have to go through what we are currently going through. We want a better judicial system for our children's future. No man or woman should go through 9 agonizing years in order to get a dissolution. Something people will get under 2-3 months in a civilized society. Why are we spending 9 years to issue one? My entire marriage lasted for 10 years. And the dissolution, does it even make any sense? Does it even make any sense? So, I want us to understand that if you want something desperately enough, if you know you have tried everything possible to make your marriage work and it isn't working, and you know you cannot continue to be in that union, and you desire for a dissolution, please do not let my 9-year situation scare you. You just might be lucky. Yours might not be as long as mine. So to all the women sending me, because even while all of this was going on, I still had women sending me DMs, please Tastebudz, I'm so fed up, I'm tired, how am I going to go about this? The divorce I want to file for, is it going to take 9 years? Is it going to take longer? And the answer I have for you is, honey, it can take longer than 9 years. It can take fewer than 9 years. But the question is, how badly do you want to get out? Some marriages are as good as death sentence. So you just might as well fight with everything you've got to come out of it and be free. You owe it to yourself to be free. You owe it to yourself to live a happy life. Now, I'm going to take Simply Vic said after their wedding, they will imagine their lives backwards from wedding day to bachelor's eve. Exactly. That's what happens when you have to recount everything that happened in the course of your marriage before the judiciary. Marriage, the O-ring Nauman 01, marriage doesn't work. Did Adam marry Eve? Marriage is European invitation. But if you know you can't be faithful with one woman, why get married? Exactly. If you know you can't be faithful with one woman, why get married? Binta_Ghana said, marriage is a dead-end road, is what children are being taught to the generation after us. Precisely my point. We have to be very careful the kind of lasting impression we leave on our children. They are the ones that will carry our legacy after we're gone. So the lasting impression they have about marriage, about union, about the world at large is very important. So we have to be very careful what they understand by everything that is going on around us. Omo Kende, at Tastebudz, are you on Clubhouse? You need to come and share your thoughts there. Omo Kende, I'm not in the Clubhouse. I am so busy. I've gotten several invitations to join the Clubhouse, but I haven't had the time. Binta_Ghana, powerful show, sis. Thank you so much, Binta, darling. Thank you. The original man 01. In European countries, it takes 30 seconds. I wish it took 30 seconds here. That would have made the world an easier place to live in, right? Moyin Oluwa_Oluwa Tosin. Olorinde, the one that married me refused to divorce me. Despite that, he is the one that ended the marriage 12 years ago. Nigerian men. Oh my God. If he has refused to divorce you, he can still go ahead, go to the court, continue going to the court. I was going to the court for 3 years alone, all by myself, before my ex showed up. So just start going to the court and maybe eventually he will show up. Like I said, how badly do you want it? If you really want to get out, you have to fight for it. The original man 01. Oh yes, it is a big joke. It is a big joke. You have no idea. Salute to Nigerians. The original man 01 says, salute to Nigerians. Everyone is sleeping around. Everyone, that's what you get when the church tied you to one useless person to spend the rest of your life with. So as a result of people being forced to remain in unwanted marriages, the rate of promiscuity is on the rise. It's increasing in Nigeria despite our religiosity. It isn't helping because people are being forced to remain in unions that they would rather opt out of. So the end result is cheating, cheating, and cheating. There is no end in sight to that. But I would always tell people, do not cheat in your marriage. File for a divorce, come out of it, and start a new life. There is so much out there for you. File for a divorce and come out of that union. It is better for you to file for a divorce, come out, return the wedding ring, and start a new life. Your mental health will thank you for it. Don't let your pastors or the people on the streets or your family and friends tell you otherwise. File for that divorce, come out of it, and you will be happy that you did. Simply Vic 1 says, the people that gave us this judicial system don't even practice it the way we do. Hypocrisy is our surname. Exactly, Simply Vic. You couldn't have said it any better. But you see, we just have to keep hoping for the best and praying that our country would be better off, will do things in a more appropriate way that would ease the pain of the citizens. Simply Vic said, people should also surround themselves with good support system while going through it all. It is very important you support yourself with people that love you, people that understand what you're going through, people that are even experienced on matters like this. They can cushion you, they can counsel you, they can, talk to you when you need talking to. Do not be alone by yourself. If you have watched some of the series we did in the past, how best to file for a divorce, what to expect when filing for a divorce, coming out of a toxic union, it was a topic on the show, how to exit a toxic relationship. You would understand the importance of having support system all around you. You need a solid support system to see you through this phase. I don't know how I would have been able to survive this 9 years if it wasn't for my very supportive late father, my very supportive mom. My family members, most of them were extremely supportive and they came all out to support me. I don't know how I would have made it. So you need a very strong support system in order for you to come out strong at the end of the day. Binta _Ghana, Today you stand as an example to many of what is possible exactly. That is what I hope to do, so a lot of women out there can understand that it might be really tough. The journey to the end might be very tough, but you can do it as long as you're determined, as long as you're resilient, as long as you focus on that vision you have in your head. You can bring it to birth. You can bring that reality you have in your mind. You can bring it to fruition. It's a mind game. And I keep telling people, you have to build your mindset. Chief Fine Babe said, you are an overcomer and a winner. Chief Fine Babe, thank you so much. Well, I give all the glory to Yahushua, who has made me the way that I am. There are so many women that started this journey with me, but some backed out along the way. They couldn't see it through to the finish line because it was very tough. So having gone through it, I don't even blame some of them for backing down, because like I keep telling people, how much do you want to come out of your situation? And I also tell you that everyone's endurance threshold varies. My endurance threshold withstand pain, to withstand frustration, to withstand disappointment is very high. I can take in a lot of things and still stand my ground. Some women can't, some men can't. So it depends on your threshold, your endurance threshold. So for all those women out there still in the struggle, still believing that someday they will get a dissolution, I'm encouraging you to hang in there. Don't give up. You will get it. And for those of you that are scared that you can't go this long haul, you can't go through with this long haul, 9 years, oh my God. I'm here to tell you that you might be lucky. Yours might not span the period of 9 years. Yours might actually be shorter than 9 years. And if it does span longer than 9 years, you have what it takes. Just remember how much you really want to be free from that toxic relationship, and you will keep forging ahead until you get what you desire. Binta_Ghana said, there is nothing nice being dragged through the process, a dissolution of marriage, but being triumphant over that is worth a lot more. Exactly. Seeing it through to the end is satisfactory. Simply Vic 1, for me, easy divorce should be as simple as saying yes to a proposal. Exactly. As Christians, we are taught to be a man or a woman of our word. Let your yes be your yes, and your no be your no. When you say yes, when you say, yes, I do, you go ahead and you tie that knot and you make that commitment and you become that husband or that wife to that person. Same way, when you say, no, I am done, it should be as simple as that. No, I am done. That is all. The marriage is over. Waiting for the whole dissolution is just a formality on a piece of paper. What is important is the spoken word. I do not want to marry you anymore. Here is your ring. That marriage is over before God and man. It is over. The whole dissolution is just a ceremony on a piece of paper. So let us know this. Well, this is for Christians. I mean, Simply Vic. You know, it's not everyone that would understand this, but if you're a Christian, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. When you make that commitment with your partner before God, it is sealed. And when you make that pronouncement before your partner in the presence of God, it is over. Every other thing is a formality. Chukwu Asoka 1, you are a strong woman. Chukwu Asoka, I don't take credit for it. I just thank God for making me the kind of person that I am. There is something I always say to myself. When the going gets really tough, I say to myself, Benedicta, things can actually get worse. Be thankful for the moment and realize that things can actually get worse. And when I say this to myself, I get that energy from nowhere and I just move on. Because I realize that for every bad situation you find yourself in, it can actually get worse. So we never pray for a worse off situation, but whatever situation we find ourselves in, let us start thinking of solutions. Let us start thinking of, what can I make out of this? How do I solve this problem? How can I move from point A to point B? Instead of dwelling in the problem, beating yourself up, crying endlessly over the problem. Why did I use the word crying endlessly? Because there is nothing wrong with crying. Oh, there were so many times I cried out of anger, out of frustration, but I didn't stop there. I went ahead of the crying phase into the solution phase. And that is the mindset I want us all to have today. When you are done with crying, because crying is therapeutic, I cry. Everyone should cry every now and again. If you find yourself in an extremely frustrating situation, cry. It's healing to cry. Just let it all out. But never dwell in that crying phase. Because the crying is not going to bring the solution. The crying is just going to bring you momentary relief. And when you have gotten that momentary relief, plan B, solution phase. How do I come out of this? What do I do to change this situation? And that is the mindset of a winner. You move. Is that not what we say these days? We move. So we keep moving. As long as you're alive, there is breath in you. We move. Binta_Ghana, don't let the overwhelming fears and negate aspects of a divorce stop the process. The process has only just begun. The process has only just begun. Just like I said, it was my decision on my 40th birthday. Was it my 40th birthday? No. It was this year, August. No, last year, August. That was my 42nd birthday. I felt I had been procrastinating long enough. I had counseled a lot of women in the past for so many years, and so many women out there that had reached out to me, DM, email, WhatsApp. I am sorry, I'm still apologizing. I was never able to reach you guys one-on-one because I have my own issues, and sometimes I don't even have enough time to handle everything that I have to handle. So me not reaching you or just reading your message and not being able to respond is not because I was being snobbish or because I felt you didn't have a valid problem. No, it's because I didn't have the time. So on my 42nd birthday, 1st of August, I just got up from the bed and I decided, it was a Saturday, and I said, I'm going to start life's journey with Benedicta. I want to share my life's experiences with women, with men, with people out there that I know have gone through what I have gone through. And some that are afraid of going through that path, that fiery path, that fiery tunnel that they need to go through in order for them to come out at the other end refined. I wanted to encourage them by sharing my stories, by sharing my experiences, by giving them my platform to come and share their own stories as well. So it was a decision that I made on my 42nd birthday. That was last year, 1st of August. So the whole media frenzy about my dissolution, blah, 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 is not going to stop anything. It's not. It's not. It's actually the beginning. It's actually the beginning, because if you take a second to listen to the topic of this show, it's called Life's Journey. It is a journey. We all are on a journey. It is never ending. It ends the day you breathe your last. So as long as we live, we will continue experiencing things that we would share with each other in a manner that it is uplifting, in an uplifting manner, in an encouraging manner that someone out there can listen to and pick up the pieces of their lives. So Binta_Ghana, we are only just beginning. I beg you, it's like I'm coming for your wardrobe, so just get ready for me too. Oh yes, but you will come out better for it. She Fine Babe says, beauty. I'm going to read Sachi_F. Are you please well with you? One can be a role, depends on its role model or message that I want to share with your relationship. Women that want to learn how to build a loving and a lasting relationship. So it's not just for women that want to exit their marriage, no. It is for women that are mothers, women that are intending to be mothers, women that are struggling with parenting, people that are going through life crisis generally. We're just here to discuss life issues the way it happens to us all. Like I keep saying, it is one story at a time. It's always better. I'm unable to. Okay, comments from my YouTube. Hello, Tastebudz. Thank you for being strong. You are an encouragement to women out there trying to tell you, be strong. At the end of the day, do what you know is best for you. You alone can decide what works best, woman. So you our greatness in us. All have greatness in us. We all have great potential in us. We only need to search deep to find it and to use it to the benefit of humanity. We all have greatness in us. And it is our sole responsibility to find that greatness. Have what it takes to come out. You don't have to stay in there and leave a double standard. Come out of it. Don't be a hypocrite. Come out and remember to join me same time next week, Saturday. Bye-bye. I can't even stop the YouTube. It's just going in circles.
phone has not stopped. Stop it.
It couldn't save. He said couldn't save. What should I do?
Share to IGTV.
I shouldn't save it again.
Leave it. Share to IGTV straight. Wait and pick your... You've not stopped it.